Guys, what is up? It is Kansas Kid heading into work today, and I just want to do just a quick chat and just kind of talk about when I first started collecting and stacking. I always set goals for myself. I always had a new idea of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to get to, and I've always wanted to do a video on this. I wasn't planning on doing it like this, but how whenever I started stacking, my mindset was I wanted to get 100 ounces of silver, any shape, form, whatever. I wanted 100 ounces. And, that's like a goal for a lot of people to go to and kind of, what a milestone, if you will, for people. So stacking in hundreds, to get that first 100 ounces. So whenever I first started stacking, I had all kinds of random stuff. But how I got to that 100 ounces was I had a tube of, of generic rounds. I started with a tube of Buffaloes. Now, I didn't just go out and buy a tube. I, bought a couple at a time, threw them in the tube. And then I had, random generic rounds that I would buy for, real cheap, the cheapest I could find, throw them in a tube. So once I did that, and then I was buying bars, bought my first 10 ounce bar, a couple 5 ounce bars. And so doing this, with all my random stuff put together, I finally hit 100 ounces. So the idea of this is stacking in hundreds. Once I hit 100 ounces, I evaluated my stack, and I looked at everything, and the goals I set and what kept me motivated was I looked at everything, and I had a tube of, like a tube of Buffaloes. I had a tube of Britannias. Had a tube of random mixed stuff. I had some 5 ounce bars. I had some 10 ounce bars, 1 ounce bars. I had all this stuff. So then my next goal was to stack in hundreds. I picked one of those out to get 100 ounces. And what I mean by that is I picked out, I want 100 ounces of rounds. I want 100 ounces in 10 ounce bars. I want 100 ounces in 5 ounce bars. And that's what I did. So the next step I took was I looked at my rounds and say I had 60 rounds, 60 ounces of rounds. Well, I knew I needed 40 more ounces, to get to my 100 mark. That's what I focused on. So once I got 100 ounces of rounds, 20 per tube. Once I got 5 tubes, 100 ounces, I moved on to something else. I'm like, okay, now I need 100 ounces in 10 ounce bars. If I had a couple 10 ounce bars, I knew I needed 8 more 10 ounce bars. 8 more to get to the 100, and then I'd have that knocked out. And this is what I mean by stacking in hundreds. Having, that type of goal mindset really helped me out as far as to drive me and to keep going what I was doing. So, once I got the 10 ounce bars done, I looked at my 5 ounce bars. I had 25 ounces in 5 ounce bars. I needed 75 more ounces, 5 ounce bars. So that's what I focused on. And, once I got to a certain point, whenever I keep track of everything I have, and I just write it on a piece of paper, put it in the box or whatever I'm storing it in. And, whenever I put it up, I also use a spreadsheet, that kind of helps me keep track that I can take with me and stuff like that. But once I filled something up, then I put it away. Once I had tubes filled up, or 100 ounces, and I had them bagged up, whatever it is, I put that stuff away. And then I moved on to new tubes, something else. Then I'm going for a tube of prospectors, whatever it is. But what really got me motivated, and we're talking base stack stuff, stuff for your base stack, was stacking in hundreds. I know you're like, oh man, that seems like a lot. You know, you're looking at 400 or 500 ounces, and it is. But if you have a direction you're going, for me, it really helped. You know, it really helped what I was looking at, what I wanted to do, and then, you know, and then the next goal that I knocked out was 1 ounce of gold. So I stacked up. I wanted 1 ounce of fractional gold. Little time. That's where I directed my focus, you know, and then, you know, all of a sudden, boom, you have 1 ounce of gold. Not really boom, but you guys know what I'm saying. It took a little bit longer than that, but having that direction, having that focus, you know, 1 ounce bars. 1 ounce bars is, I don't have 100 1 ounce bars, and actually that's going to probably be my next thing that I focus on. Right after, I am working on $100 face, and I've already done $100. I mean, I have $100 face now, but I'm working on my second one, and I want to get that knocked out. And I've got some just random tubes that I need to fill up with, you know, Benjis, and I think Benjis, and I've got another tube of Morgans I'm about 3 short on, and then finish my tube of Peace Dollars, and then that'll give me another 100. So, you know, that's another thing. But then 1 ounce bars, not poured silver or anything, but just 1 ounce bars of your press bars. I need to get to 100 of those, you know, and I'm going to work on that. I've got the Silver Strux Guardhouse Box Challenge. I got that done. And then, you know, I'm going to work on some other ones. I've got some other ones besides that I have collected, but, you know, that's the one I'm going to work on. Those, and then eventually get 100 ounces of poured silver. And I'm probably, I say, you know, of 1 ounce poured silver, and I am probably halfway there on that, maybe not quite halfway. So anyway, guys, that's kind of my strategy of what I do. That's like my basic strategy. You know, my strategy always changes what I'm looking at, what I'm doing, but that's kind of an idea of how I started, and that's how I really built my base stack up. Not so, you know, like I said, once I hit 100 of something, I put it away, and then I started over. You know, I started again until you meet that 100. Fish is doing something very, very similar. He's doing 500, you know, fill a guard or a monster box up 500 ounces, and kind of the same concept. His big picture is 500, and mine is not. Mine's, like I said, 100 at a time, to keep me focused on what I'm doing, and you know, whether that be constitutional face value, whether that be, you know, 100 ounces of rounds, 100 ounces of bars, however you want to look at it. So, guys, I just wanted to kind of go over that with you, and I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you soon.